Don't ever lie, cause the land will never forget. Every truth, every lie, the earth keeps it all. So always speak the truth.
In my village, the earth listens, and it never forgets. Obinna's toes touched the soil, cold, too cold for dawn. The shrine stood before him, Ani Okwu, cracked clay walls stained with something dark, blood, rust, the names of liars carved so deep, the letters bled shadow. He could still run, his legs trembled. Why were they trembling? Behind him the elders watched, silent, waiting. Their eyes said what their mouths wouldn't. You're making a mistake. Mazi Okezi had warned him last night, pulled him aside, whispered close enough that Obinna could smell the palm wine on his breath. If you lie here, it will not be us who punish you. Obinna's chest hurt. The cold, he told himself, just the cold. But his heart knew better, didn't it? In Umu-Ala, land wasn't just soil, it was everything. Your name, your legacy. The only proof you existed after death. Without land, you were smoke. With it, you were stone. Obinna had been smoke his entire life. Today, he would become stone. Or ash. As you listen, ask yourself, what promise have you ever made that still follows you? The elder who died, Mazi Nana, had no sons, no daughters, no one. His land should have returned to the village. Should have. But Obinna had planted a different story. Quietly, carefully, like seeds in dry season. My father spoke with Mazi Nana, he'd told the elders. A promise was made. Was it true? No. Did anyone know? No. Could anyone prove otherwise? Not anymore. Both men were dead. The only witnesses left were the ancestors. And Obinna was about to lie to them. The elders hesitated when he first made his claim. Obinna's father had been dead 12 years. Mazi Nana, 9. Who could confirm a promise made in whispers between dying men? But Obinna's voice never shook. His eyes never dropped. He looked like a man telling the truth. And so they believed him. Or wanted to. Or feared what would happen if they didn't let the ancestors decide. We will let them judge, Mazi Okezi finally said. An oath. At Ani Okwu. Where lies rot in the ground and poison everything they touch. Obinna agreed. What choice did he have? To refuse would be to confess. Mazi Okezi stepped forward now, his walking stick tapping the earth. 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. An ancient rhythm, older than memory. His voice cracked like dry wood. Obinna, son of Ekin, you stand before Ani Okwu. The earth hears all. The ancestors see all. Obinna's throat tightened. If your words are true, you will prosper. A pause, too long. If your words are false? Mazi Okezi didn't finish. He didn't need to. The silence finished for him. Obinna swallowed hard. His mouth tasted like metal. Fear? Or something else? The shrine seemed to breathe. Was that possible? A gust of wind stirred the dust at his feet. Just wind, nothing more. But beneath it, beneath the wind, beneath his heartbeat, Obinna heard something. A hum, a pulse, like the earth had a heartbeat of its own. He blinked. Gone. Had he imagined it? The elders were waiting. The village was watching. There was no turning back now. Was there? Umu-Ala had laws. Older than the British. Older than missionaries. Older than any living elder could trace. Land was not bought. It was inherited, earned, granted by the dead to the living. The system was simple. A man dies, his land goes to his sons. No sons, his brothers. No brothers, the family head. No family. The land returns to the village, simple, sacred, unbreakable. Mazi Nana's land was different, fertile, near the stream, shaded by old Iroko trees that had stood since before anyone's grandfather was born. It was the kind of land that made men jealous. The kind that gave you a voice in council. The kind your grandchildren would brag about. And it had no heir. Obinna had been watching, waiting. When Mazi Nana fell sick, Obinna visited him. Twice. Brought palm wine, spoke softly, asked questions, careful ones, about family, about the future, about promises. Mazi Nana, feverish and half gone, said little. But Obinna listened to the silences, and when the old man died, Obinna began to speak, not loudly, not desperately, just consistently. I remember my father mentioning it, he'd say at evening gatherings, casual, confident. Mazi Nana wanted the land to stay with those who honoured him. No one could prove him wrong, but could anyone prove him right? The elders met in the Obi, the meeting house, where decisions were made under the gaze of carved masks that seemed to watch everything. Some argued for redistribution. Others felt uneasy. Why? They couldn't say. Just uneasy. Obinna sat outside, patient, humble, hands folded like a man with nothing to hide. Inside, his heart raced. Finally, Mazi Okezi emerged. We will let the ancestors decide. Obinna nodded slowly, respectfully. But inside, his stomach dropped because he knew what that meant. An oath. At Ani Okwu, where lies were said to sink into the earth and rot there, poisoning everything, everyone, forever. If you've ever wanted something you knew wasn't yours, you understand what happened next. 3 days before the oath. Obinna couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the shrine, cracked, bleeding, watching. He saw his father's face, disappointed, distant, dead. He saw Mazi Nana being lowered into the ground, the soil swallowing him, like a secret, like a lie. Second night. Worse. His wife, Adana, touched his shoulder in the dark. You're shaking. I'm fine, was he? Obinna. I said I'm fine, but his voice cracked. She heard it. He heard it. The lie was already rotting between them. Morning came. Mazi Okezi appeared at his compound, uninvited. The old man sat on the wooden stool outside and said nothing, just watched. Chickens pecked at the dirt. Women pounded yam in the distance. The silence stretched. Too long. There is a proverb, Obinna. The old man's voice was soft, too soft. The fly that does not listen will follow the corpse into the grave. Obinna forced a smile. I'm not a fly, Mazi. No. The old man's eyes didn't blink, didn't move. But the grave does not care what you call yourself. The air felt thick, heavy. Obinna's throat tightened. If you lie before Ani Okwu, Mazi Okezi continued, the ancestors will not strike you down that day. A pause. They are patient. Another pause. They wait. Obinna's hands started to sweat. They watch. Why wouldn't the old man look away? And when they respond, tap. The walking stick hit the ground. Once, tap, twice, tap, 3 times. It will not be loud. It will be slow, like roots strangling a tree from below. Obinna couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. Oh, then it's good, he finally whispered, that I'm telling the truth. Mazi Okezi stood. His joints cracked. He looked at Obinna. Not with anger, with pity. I hope so, my son. He turned to leave, stopped, looked back. Because the land remembers what we forget. And he walked away. That night, Obinna lay awake. Again. He thought about backing out, confessing, running. But then he thought about the land. Fertile, wide, waiting. He thought about his children, about respect, about his name carved into the memory of Umu-Ala. Everything he'd never had. Everything he'd always wanted. And pride? Pride spoke louder than fear. It always does. Truth has a voice. Are we listening before it becomes loud? Dawn came. Cold. Grey. Wrong. Obinna walked to Ani Okwu alone. Half the village followed. At a distance, no one spoke. Not even the children. As they knew. Somehow, they knew. The shrine waited at the village edge, half hidden, overgrown with bushes, the roots of an ancient oob tree wrapped around it like fingers holding secrets. Offerings lay scattered at its base. Cola nuts, palm wine, coins wrapped in red cloth, some fresh, others so old they'd become part of the earth. And the names, carved into the clay. Dozens. Men who lied, men who stole, men who swore falsely and paid for it in ways the living still whispered about. Obinna's hands trembled. Stop shaking. They'll see. Maziokizi stood beside the shrine. In his hand, a clay bowl, white chalk, water, the symbols of truth. Obinna, the old man's voice carried, you have come to swear before the ancestors. You say the land of Mazi-Nana was promised to your father. Yes. You say this is truth. Yes. A pause. Too long. Or then kneel. Obinna's knees hit the earth. The soil was cold, damp from morning dew. He pressed his palms flat. And the ground, it felt warm. How? Not just warm, alive, pulsing, like skin, like it had veins beneath the surface. Obinna's breath caught. Maziokizi dipped his fingers into the chalk, marked Obinna's forehead. 3 lines, the sign of covenant. Speak your oath. Obinna's mouth was dry, his tongue thick. He could still stop. He could... I swear, he began, his voice steadier than it should be, smoother than it had any right to be. Before the ancestors of Umu-Ala, before the spirits of this land, before Ani, the Earth Mother herself. The wind shifted, just slightly, not toward him, away from him, like the air itself was recoiling. That my father, Ekene, was promised this land by Mazi-Nana. His heart pounded. That this promise was witnessed by the spirits. The words tasted like ash. That I speak only truth. Silence. The crowd held its breath. The earth held its breath. Obinna waited, for thunder, for lightning, for the ground to split and swallow him whole. Nothing. A bird called, far away. The wind settled. Maziokizi's face remained stone. It is done, he said quietly. Obinna stood, his legs weak, his heart hammering. He had done it. He had lied to the ancestors, and nothing happened. Nothing. Or, as he turned to walk away, he saw her. A child, no more than 6, standing at the edge of the crowd, staring, not blinking, her eyes wide, knowing. She knew. Somehow, she knew. Obinna blinked. When he opened his eyes, she was gone. Had she ever been there? He looked down at his hands. They were shaking again, and beneath his feet, and so faint he almost missed it, a hum, a pulse, the earth's heartbeat, still there, still listening, still, waiting. The first week felt like victory. The land was his, 4 boundary stones, placed at the corners. Mazi-Nana's old farm, his farm now. Obinna walked the perimeter every morning, touched the trees, the soil, the future he had stolen. His wife said nothing, but her eyes asked questions he wouldn't answer. His children celebrated, danced, laughed. They didn't know, couldn't know. And Obinna? He told himself the ancestors had blessed him. That silence meant approval, that nothing happening meant nothing was wrong. But the land? The land had already started counting. Day 8. He planted yam seedlings, 20 mounds, perfect spacing, careful watering. He whispered a prayer to Ani, asked for favor, waited. By week 3, his neighbor's yams sprouted, green, eager, strong. Obinna's land? Bare. He dug up a mound. The seed had rotted, black, soft, smelling like death. Bad batch, he muttered. He planted again, same result. Again, same. Why? Week 4, the cracks started. Thin at first, like veins in skin. Spiderweb patterns spreading across the soil. He tried to water them closed. The earth refused to drink. Water pooled on the surface. Sat there, stagnant, staring back at him like an eye that wouldn't close. One morning his goat wandered onto the land. Mid-step, it froze. Ears flat, eyes rolling white. Then it bolted, bleating, screaming almost, like it had seen something, felt something. Obinna's son laughed. "The goat is scared of your farm, Papa." Obinna didn't laugh. That night, the dream came. He stood in the middle of his land. The soil beneath him breathed, rising, falling, like a chest. He tried to run, his feet sank, mud, thick, pulling, and from below, drumming, slow, steady, boom, 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 like a heartbeat. He woke gasping, drenched, shaking. Adana touched his arm. "Again." "I'm fine." "Obinna, what did you do?" "Nothing." The lie tasted bitter, rotten, like the seeds in his ground. If you've ever seen consequences delay, stay with this story because delay is not denial. Week 5. The stream died, not all at once, slowly. A finger's width each day. Women noticed first. They came to fetch water, saw the waterline dropping, lower, lower. They whispered, glanced toward Obinna's land as they passed. "The land is thirsty," one said. "Or angry," another replied. Obinna heard them, ignored them, tried to, but the cracks in his soil had widened. Deep enough now to lose a finger, and the smell, sweet, rotten, like fruit left too long in sun. It clung to everything, his clothes, his skin, his breath. No matter how much he washed, the smell stayed. One evening Maziokezi walked past, stopped, stared at the land, said nothing, just stared, his face unreadable. Then he walked on, but Obinna saw it, in the old man's eyes. I told you, that night the drumming came, but Obinna wasn't asleep. He sat outside his compound, staring at the moon, trying not to think, trying not to feel. Then, boom, low, rhythmic, coming from beneath. Boom, boom, boom. His heart matched it, beat for beat. He stood, walked toward his farm. Why? He didn't know, couldn't stop. The cracks pulsed, opening, closing, like mouths breathing. The drumming grew louder, faster, and beneath it, voices, chanting, humming. Calling his name in a language he didn't know but somehow understood. Obinna, son of lies, son of stolen ground. He stumbled back. "Stop," he whispered. The drumming didn't stop. It never stopped. It got faster, louder, matching his heartbeat. No, controlling it. And in the distance shadows moved, figures, walking, circling his land. He blinked, gone, blinked again, still there. Closer now. Obinna ran, didn't stop until he reached his hut. Slammed the door, pressed his back against it, breathing hard, too hard. Adana sat up, eyes wide in the dark. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Obinna." I said nothing. Silence, heavy, suffocating. Then, from outside, from beneath their home, the drumming, faint but unmistakable, boom, boom, boom. Adana heard it too. Her hand found his in the dark, trembling. "What did you do?" she whispered. And for the first time, Obinna couldn't answer. Week 7. The sickness came, children, 3 of them, different families, fevers that wouldn't break, skin burning, eyes glazed, and in their sleep they whispered, words that sounded like prayers, or curses, or something older than both. The healers tried everything, herbs from the forest, sacrifices at the crossroads, incantations passed down through generations. Nothing worked, the children only got worse. Then the crops failed. Not just Obinna's, the farms around his land, touching his borders. Yams rotted overnight, cassava withered to nothing. Palm trees, trees that had stood for 3 generations, dropped their fronds like they were dying, giving up, surrendering. The elders gathered. The Obi was thick with smoke and fear, faces grim, voices low. Mazi-Okezi spoke first. "This is not weather." Silence. "This is not chance." Another elder, Mazi-Chidi, nodded slowly, his hands shaking as he spoke. "The land is speaking." "But why?" someone asked. "What have we done?" No one answered. No one wanted to. Then, from the back, a woman's voice, shaky, hesitant. "It started when Obinna took the land." All eyes turned. She shrank back, but continued. The stream dried. The cracks appeared. The children fell sick. All of it, she swallowed. After the oath. Maziokezi closed his eyes. He had known, had warned, had hoped foolishly that he was wrong. Bring him, he said quietly. Obinna came slowly, reluctantly, his face gaunt, eyes red, sleepless. He stood before the elders like a man already condemned. Maziokezi's voice was heavy, tired. Obinna, the land is dying, the children are sick. The ancestors are speaking, a pause. We cannot ignore them. Obinna's hands trembled. He hid them behind his back. You swore an oath before Aniokwu, the old man continued. Was it true? Silence. Say yes, his pride whispered. Say no, his fear begged. It was true, Obinna said, but his voice cracked, broke. Maziokezi stared at him, searching, seeing the lie both of them knew was there. Then return to the shrine, he said. Speak again. Ask the ancestors for clarity. Obinna's throat tightened. If you are innocent, Maziokezi's voice softened, almost sad, they will show mercy. And if I don't, the old man's face turned to stone, then the land will finish what it has started. Obinna looked around the Obi, at the faces watching him, waiting, judging. He saw it in their eyes. They knew, all of them, as they were just waiting for him to say it. Truth has a voice. Are we listening before it becomes loud? Obinna left the Obi, but he didn't go to the shrine. He went home, sat in the dark, head in his hands, trying to convince himself. They promised it, he muttered. My father deserved it. I deserve it. The words felt hollow, empty, like the cracks in his land. Adana sat across from him, her face hidden in shadow. Obinna, she said quietly, too quietly. Tell me the truth. I have. No, her voice broke. Tell me the truth. He looked at her, and for the first time in weeks, tears came. I wanted more, he whispered. I wanted to be seen. His voice cracked. I wanted our children to have something. You wanted a lie to become truth. He nodded. She didn't yell, didn't cry, just stood, walked outside, left him alone. In the silence, in the dark, in the weight of what he'd done, that night. The storm came, no rain at first, just wind, howling, violent, tearing at roofs, ripping trees. The sky turned black, starless, heavy. And beneath it all, louder now, the drumming. Boom, 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 faster, closer, coming from everywhere, nowhere, inside the earth itself. Obinna stood in his compound, wind whipping around him. For the first time he felt it, the full weight. The land wasn't just angry, it was awake, and it remembered everything. Then the rain began, not everywhere, just on Obinna's land, sheets of water, relentless, brutal, pounding the soil until it turned to mud. The cracks widened, became gouges, the earth collapsed inward, his yam barns sank, his compound wall cracked open, and from beneath the ground, the drumming reached a fever pitch. Oh, boom, 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 boom. So loud his chest vibrated, so loud his teeth rattled, so loud he couldn't think, couldn't breathe, couldn't run. Obinna fell to his knees, screaming into the storm. Stop! The rain didn't stop. Please! The drumming didn't stop. The ancestors had waited, watched, listened. And now they were done waiting. Obinna ran, barefoot, through mud, through rain, through darkness, sobbing, gasping, choking on water and fear, straight to Aniokwu. He collapsed before the shrine, hands clawing at the earth, nails breaking, skin tearing. He didn't care. I lied, the words ripped from his throat, raw, desperate. The rain slowed, just slightly. I lied, he gasped. I wanted the land, his voice breaking. I wanted to be someone. The wind stilled, listening. I wanted my name to mean something. Tears mixed with rain, with mud, with shame, but it wasn't mine. He pressed his forehead to the ground, the earth cold, unforgiving. None of it was mine. His hands trembled. I lied to you. I lied to the elders. I lied to myself. Silence, heavy, waiting. Forgive me. His voice barely a whisper now. Please. I'll give it back. I'll give everything back. The drumming faded, slowly, like a heartbeat slowing. The rain softened, from sheets to drops, from drops to mist. The earth beneath him. It exhaled, a long, deep, tired breath. Obinna lay there, shaking, broken, empty, waiting for judgment, for punishment, for the ground to swallow him. But the ancestors were patient. They had heard, they had seen, and now they would decide. Above him,